Hey guys, thanks for joining me. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. Hello, peoples. Welcome to Sharp Ends. Thanks so much for joining me. This is from CJRB, and I believe this is something I couldn't believe when I saw it, that it was what it was and the price it was going for. This is the Bolt, I believe, from CJRB, going for $94. This box, by the way, is bigger than your average box. So I'm wondering if this knife is bigger than your average knife too. And I just got this Riot, which was just under $100 as well. And this is Nitro V, and is very cool. This is their PL, I think it's PL, with their pivot lock right here. The right at $100 mark lately has been getting insane as far as quality and the deals that you can get there. So this knife doesn't seem to be larger than I thought. Just a really large box. Why did CJRB suddenly go with big old boxes? Who knows? All right. So this is Micarta, and one of the reasons why I say this is a great deal, it's $94, right? It's S90V. There's not many knives out there that you can get S90V, which in my opinion is the best pocket steel knife you can get for a folder. For under $150. So for under $100, that is incredible. And this Micarta is really nice. Now CJRB has this clip here, which I am not a huge fan of, this little bent clip, and it's a little bit long, and the spoon is okay. It's not, but yeah, anyway. But oh, it is left-handed carry too. Obviously a bar lock. We've got a flicker mechanism as well as a thumb stud. And I'm going to open this up and take a look at the blade. But first, smash that like button. Like, subscribe, and thank you as always to my Patreon supporters. Excuse me. CJRB makes some really good knives that I really, really like a lot. Like the Pyrite Light is something that I recommend highly to people. If they want to spend less than $30 and have a great knife, the Pyrite Light would probably last you 5 to 10 years easily if you took care of it, even minimally. Bar locks are not my favorite these days, but they're not bad either. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at this guy. Oh, okay. This is not a flipper. I'm so dumb. This is actually a combo shark lock type thing here we have here, or this is an actuator here for the bar lock. So it's kind of like a bar lock, shark lock, spine lock type thing combo. Very interesting. So yes, I could pull this back and then flip it open, or I could just use the thumb stud, right? And you see, like now I can close it like this. So I usually don't like bar locks because I just find them annoying, personally. I like to use one hand to close my knives, but because this is also a spine lock, I don't have that annoyance. And this is indeed S90V according to this. So CJRB, if you don't know, use AR RPM 9 a lot on their budget knives, and it's kind of like a spray form D2. I think they have a new configuration for that too, but not much better than that. Not that it's bad, it's a fine budget steel, but I much prefer for the budget realm 14C28N, and this being 90CV for $94. Oof. Let's see if it is sharp. What's great about S90V, by the way, is that its edge retention is very, very good. And it's not quite brittle either. And it can take a very sharp geometry, a fine geometry. It can take a 15 degrees, 16 degrees, although I tend to be closer to the 18 to 20 degree mark when I sharpen my knives personally. Because I don't want folds to develop, and I don't think you really get that much screaming of a difference if you make it a sharper geometry. Now 14C28N, Nitro V, and those kind of steels, and that family can definitely take a very, very fine edge without losing without folding on the edge or getting chips on the edge. It's not very brittle. It's made for that. It's made for razors, right? But 90SV stays sharp for a very long time. And that's what I really appreciated about it. And it's stainless. So this is obviously, I think, DLC coated, but who knows. And satin finish here. I do like the blade shape here, a little bit of a swedge drop point blade shape here. You can see the bar lock, and you can see in there that it actually has the, you can see the Omega springs in there. But you can see that when I actuate this, and you can see at the back of the bar lock here, right? So this is a knife, this is a first impressions, obviously, and obviously this comes in different configurations as far as colors and combos go. I will definitely be taking this apart so that we can take a look on the inside. You can also see that it is skeletonized on the inside. And I don't know if you can see in there, how much you can see in there, but it's very, the locking component is very simple. I think it's literally just a bar lock with this little stub on top. And that makes it much more practical for me. Now, bar locks can be good or bad. A lot of people, there's mixed feelings on them. And sometimes they break easily as far as their lock. So we do a simple spine whack test, which I don't suggest you do necessarily. But if I just do some medium hits here, like it's staying locked and fully engaged, which is great. And that didn't damage the lock, I don't think. It seems to be fine. There's no lock stick. Well, there might be a little bit of lock stick. Of course, I just spine whacked it, but there is just a little bit of spine lock stick. But I think that, you know, you can see in here, there's a lot of extra oil on that blade. And sometimes that oil isn't a good thing to have on your lock surfaces. That will cause lock stick. So when you get a new knife from the factory, sometimes if you notice it has a lot of oil and you have a little bit of lock stick, the only thing for it is going to be just to take it apart, put it back together again. This looks like a budget knife that CJRB has made a million of in this kind of configuration for a lot less money. So the reason why it's $94 and not $50 is because of the S90V. And I think the fact that they added this spine lock to the bar lock is intriguing and interesting. I think it's running on bearings. This will be a fun knife to take apart and to carry around and test. And it is definitely nice and sharp. Let's see. Yeah, tearing just a little bit. So sometimes the other thing that I'll do with a new knife too, especially with something like S90V, is I'm going to take my ceramic, I'm going to take a ceramic stone that I have on my Benchmade sharpener, and I'm going to go ahead and, or Work Sharp sharpener, my Bench Work Sharp sharpener, take the ceramic stone and just run it on here, and that's going to take a little bit of the factory sanding off of there and just make it that much smoother. But this is sharp, don't get me wrong, this is definitely sharp, but you can really touch up a knife very easily when you get it, when it's new. And then if you continue to use the ceramic and maybe a little light diamond stone, if you really whack your blade up a lot, you can keep that factory edge or the first sharpening, pretty much forever until you really abuse it and you really have to sharpen it. I do like this though. The action on it is good. Usually when I have a bar lock, I put my finger, my pointer finger here. And so when I do the reverse flick, in a way, I'm not pushing back, but just having my hand resting on the bar makes it come out nicely. I don't know. That's the way I do it. So when I reverse flick, I have my pointer finger over here, and it feels nice. I like it that way. Yeah. And obviously a fully ambidextrous knife. You can do this left-handed as well. And it has a left-handed place for the clip, which is great. So left-handers, that 10% of our population, can enjoy these knives because they took the time to mill out 2 extra screw holes, which maybe increased the price of the knife a couple of cents. It really is not much at all, if anything, to just add those holes and have it reversible. My biggest complaint, of course, is going to be the clip. I don't really like this type of clip. I wish they had a better clip, CJRB in general, for their budget type stuff. This micarta, however, feels really, really nice. And the ergos on this feel good. There is a nice choke up point here. Nice drop point type blade. Yeah, I definitely like it. Lately I've been carrying this Vosteed 14C28N, and this is milled, no, this is 154 cm, and I believe and this is the Martin, and it's got this copper coating on it and a compression lock back here, but you can see that the blade shapes themselves are very similar as far as the drop point typeness, except for the Martin is smaller. But this one here in 154 cm and this milled aluminum and the compression lock cost, can't quite remember, but I believe it cost $130. And so this costs $30 more, but breaking that $100 mark here is pretty cool. And again, the only thing that I really don't like about this Martin is the clip. The bill is a little bit tall and it gets real thin here. It just makes me worried that I'm going to be able to bend this really easily, but I've been carrying this nonstop to review it. And the reason why I mentioned this is just because the ergos on these two knives feel really similar. Like really, really similar, except for that this bolt is just slightly bigger, right? Speaking of which, let's go ahead and take those dimensions on this. So we've got overall 7.5 inches and a cutting edge of just under 3 inches with a nice amount of choil or choke up point here. So yeah, what I would call a medium-sized knife. Perfect, you know, anywhere around 7.25 to 7 3/4 I consider to be a medium-sized knife. Anything under 7 I consider small, and anything larger than like 7 3/4 I consider large. But that's not official. That's just me. You know, that's what feels great for me. It all depends on who you are and what you're doing with your knife and like that. But yeah, so this is just an unboxing and first impressions. My first impressions of this knife are good. Great materials, well put together. Going to take it apart, and then I will do a maintenance video on it, a disassembly video, and then I'll do a final review. I need to carry this first for a while, so that's about 3 weeks away. But thank you so much for joining me today. Like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, leave a comment. It really helps the channel. And as always, thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys are the best. I will see you next time on Sharp Ends. Bye-bye now.